Hello, welcome to the Roy Rogers News Channel. Thank you so much for watching. Alright, today we're going to dive into the PokeMMO FAQ series, where I answer questions from both older and newer players alike. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the PokeMMO FAQ Episode 3 right now. Alright, so here is our first question. If I have an issue pertaining to my in-game experience, how can I reach out for the support of the PokeMMO staff team? And the answer to this concern is that PokeMMO has a support system that you can use to ask about your inquiries. Once a support ticket is made, then a qualified staff member can address your report. Since PokeMMO is a big MMO, your patience would be appreciated. And in order to access this support system, you would have to go into the game and then you click on support request, and that should take you to a page where you can submit a ticket and a staff member should be able to answer that. But as I mentioned before, please be patient as this may take time for your concern to be answered. Here's another question that some people have asked. How do the two secondary in-game currencies work? I'm referring to the game casino coins and battle points, and I would have to split this answer into two parts. The game casino coins. First, you will need a coin case to hold the coins. The coin case can be obtained in Kanto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh. 5 PokeYen equals 1 game casino coin. The maximum amount of game coins that can be held is 9,999 coins, which is equivalent to 49,995 PokeYen, assuming that you start off from 0 coins. And as for battle points, or BP for short, you cannot exchange PokeYen for battle points. There are certain activities you can do to earn battle points. So you can either battle the Elite Four, battle in the Trainer Tower in the 7 Island, which is just north of the Pokemon Center, and you could be able to go inside the Trainer Tower there. Or you can battle in the Battle Frontier in Hoenn, and you have to win 7 battles in succession. Or you can battle players who hold the regional legendaries, like Mewtwo for Kanto, Rayquaza for Hoenn, Arceus for Sinnoh, and Keldeo for Unova. And as to the way to run into those legendaries, I mentioned that in episode 1 near the end of the video, so feel free to check out that section of the FAQ video, episode 1, if you want to know how to access the regional legendaries. Or you might find them abandoned someplace. Just keep an eye on the system announcements in the game. Or you can complete the story mode Elite Four or Unova's N and Genesis battles, and then you should be rewarded with 3,500 battle points. For more detail on the secondary currencies and their prizes, feel free to check out my coin and battle point guide, which I would like to thank Edness for taking the screenshots of the amounts. So thank you so much, Edness, for taking those screenshots. It's quite appreciated. And the coin and battle point guide should be linked down in the description below, so feel free to check that out. Alright, so now let's go ahead and dive into the next question that some people have asked me about particles. So what are particles and how do I check the ones currently available? A particle is a special effect that occurs at the start of a battle. Rach has an entire list of the particle types in her guide, which I can also link down in the description below. Thank you so much, Rach, for writing that wonderful guide on PokeMMO. And I should note that the shiny stars at the start of the battle can be turned off because the PokeMMO dev team has turned the shiny sparkles into a particle of sorts, but this particle cannot be used on any normal Pokemon. It can only be inherited from a shiny Pokemon. Now, as for particles, you can use them on certain Pokemon, and particles can be inherited via breeding. And I should note that the shiny sparkles are not going to be inherited if the Pokemon is not as shiny. I hope you find a particle that you enjoy. Alright, and speaking about appearance, let's go to talk about you now. I want to make my character pop, but I want to see the clothes that are currently available. Is there a list of vanities that I can see? And that is a very good question. There are a few guides that mention regular vanities, which I can link in the description, but as for limited and event vanities, Axe, and I hope I said your name correctly, has an excellent list of clothing as well, which I can also link down in the description below, so feel free to check out Axe's list of clothing that is currently limited, as well as event clothing. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive into our 5th question here. There are certain Pokemon breeds that require certain incense to be held. Which incense should certain female parents hold to yield certain breeds? I would like to answer this question by putting in a brief graphic of all the Pokemon that I'm about to say here. And I should note that you can buy Incense in Unova in Driftville City inside the fair, and then you can chat with the Team Galactic member. And without further ado, let's go and dive into the list right now. So if you breed a female Snorlax with a full Incense, then you will yield a Munchlax. If you breed a female Wobbuffet with a Lax Incense, then you could yield a baby Why Not. If you breed a female Chansey with a Luck Incense, just to let you know, Chansey and Blissey are 100% female, but I figured I should mention that anyways, then you can be able to yield a baby Hapenny. And if you breed a female Mr. Mime with an odd incense, then you will be able to have a baby Mime Jr. If you breed a female Chimecho with a pure incense, then you can yield a baby Chingling. If you breed a female Sudowoodo with a rock incense, then you will yield a baby Bonsly. If you breed a female Rosella or Roserade with a rose incense, you will yield a baby Bidoof. If you breed a female Marill or Zumarill with a sea incense, and you will yield a baby Azurill. Special fact, Azurill is a normal type, but Marill and Azumarill are pure water types. So that's a fun factoid. Alright, and then if you breed a female Mantine with a wave incense, then you will yield a baby Mantike, and Mantike only evolves if you level it with a Remoraid Ignite. I hope I've answered all your incense concerns. Alright, and before I dive into the 6th question, I would like to note that there has been a recent revival in secret base interest. So there are some people that ask me, how do I make a secret base in Hoenn? And that's a very good question. In order to make your secret base, you'll need a Pokemon with the move Secret Power. You can obtain TM Secret Power from an NPC at Route 112, or from a merchant at Slateport City. Lastly, you can obtain Secret Power at Lily Cove's department store. You get 8 badges from the Hoenn story. And as a note, after you get 8 badges in any region, then all the TMs are going to be available in the region's respective department stores. So in Kanto, your department store is in Celadon, and in Hoenn, the department store here is Lily Cove. And in Sinnoh, your department store is the Valistone department store. And in Unova, your department store is Shopping Mall 9, which is at Route 9. And you can use Secret Power either on a rock wall with an indent, a rock with an indent, an out-of-place bush, or an out-of-place pine tree. For more detail on secret base mechanics as well as decor options, check out my secret base guide, which I can also link down in the description below. And now let's go ahead and dive into our 7th question. How do I know what TMs I can obtain in the game? And as I alluded to in my answer for question number 6, once you retrieve 8 badges in a certain region, then there should be a list of TMs in each department store. Kanto, you can go to the Celadon department store. Hoenn, you can go into the Lily Cove department store. Sinnoh, you can go into Valistone department store. And Unova, you can go in Shopping Mall 9. As for the story, obtainable TMs, you can check out my TM location guide. I have also listed the TMs and price tags for each of them in my TM shopping catalog guide. Special thank you to Node for letting me work on the TM guide that I've originally done for the story mode. That was the very first guide I've ever worked on, so I would like to thank Node for giving me the green light for me working on that particular guide. So I hope that I've answered your TM inquiries. Alright, and now here's our 8th question. How would I know what Pokemon can learn Payday? And I would like to note that I have a list of all the Pokemon that can learn Payday via TM in my Payday Pokemon guide, the pros and cons to using each Pokemon. Meowth and Persian are the only Pokemon that can learn Payday via level up. Meowth and Munchlax share the honor of having the ability pick up and learning Payday. So feel free to check out my Payday guide down in the description below. Now, let's go ahead and dive into our 9th question here. So, how do the Frisk mechanics work, and what are the Pokemon that have the ability on PokeMMO? And the answer to this concern is that Frisk is an ability that allows held items on a wild Pokemon to be flagged. If triggered, there should be a message prior to fighting that would alert you about a certain item being held. In trader fights, though, the item name is disclosed to the battler. As for Pokemon that can have the Frisk ability, here's the current list of all the Pokemon with the specific ability that you can obtain on PokeMMO. So you have Stantler, Shuppet, Bayonet, Gothita, Gothorita, and Gothitelle. The Gothitelle line can learn Covet, which is the same move as Thief. And there's one important note. When you thief an item, do not knock out the Pokemon. Flee the fight and take the items so you can thief more items. For more longevity, it is advised to invest in multiple Frisk Pokemon with Thief or with Covet if you're using the Gothitelle line, and PP max the Thief move. Also, your attack stat should be quite low to avoid a potential knockout. And our 10th question is, how do I go inside each section of the Shoal Cave in Hoenn? And that's a very good question. The high tide will be active from 9 a.m. to 2:59 p.m. or 9 p.m. to 2:59 a.m. The high tide will allow you to surf around Shoal Cave and collect Shoal shells. As for the low tide, this will be active from 3 a.m. to 8:59 p.m. or 3 p.m. to 8:59 a.m. This will allow for you to pick up the Shoal Salt as well as skate around Shoal Cave's basement. This room will allow for you to catch Snorunt, which lives in the basement. The times being referenced are the in-game times. 1 in-game hour is equivalent to 15 real-life minutes. So at the time you're watching this video, it is very likely going to be 1 in-game hour, assuming that I go over 15 minutes here. And now it is time for our bonus question. And some people have been asking me a lot about a certain NPC blocking them off in Victory Road. So, how do I access Route 214? There is a man blocking my way, and I completed the story mode of the Sinnoh region, but for some reason, This man won't move. How do I get him to move? And that's a very good question. You will need to see all the Pokemon in the Sinnoh Dex. Once this requirement has been met, fly to Sand Gem Town and chat with the professor for the National Dex. Now, you will be able to access Route 214, as well as Snow Point Temple or Stone Building to the north. And let's go ahead and take off the graphic Sinnoh Dex. So as you see here, to the top left of the Pokedex here, you should see National Pokedex. And in order to see your Sinnoh Dex, you will need to go over here. Got the drop down. Click on that. Click on Sinnoh Pokedex, or if you're on phone, you could do the exact same thing. Now, make sure that the white line at the bottom left is filled. You do not need to own Pokemon. You do not need to catch Pokemon for this requirement to be met. But you have to see every single Pokemon. Some people would turn over to the global trade link for certain Pokemon. If you want to go back to the moment that I talked about what incenses you can use to breed with certain Pokemon, you can be able to do that. And this could help you complete the scene part of the Pokedex. And I hope I've answered all your questions here on the PokeMMO FAQ series. And this is the Roy Rogers News Channel. Man, it's been a while since I've done a PokeMMO FAQ video. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to the channel, like the content that you see here. And this is the Roy Rogers News Channel signing off. Fast, accurate, unbiased. Roy Rogers News.